All right, there we go. Hey, what's up? It's me. And, I just made a post the other day, made a little video talking about how I think AI is useful for certain things and that there's nothing wrong with using it, especially if you're trying to, I don't know, more or less save your own time and energy. If you are say, incapable of designing things or using design programs or software. Um, but there's an issue with the commoditization of that type of work, I guess, or like I guess what I'm saying is there's a danger in commoditizing artwork because AI can do it really fast and really cheap. And I understand that there's absolutely times where, it's absolutely needed. I've mentioned it before. Musicians need sometimes to use AI because they're not good at doing design work. And they also don't want to pay somebody to do design work for them, which I actually think is a really big missed opportunity. I think that if you're a musician and you're trying to make a name for yourself locally, that by choosing to not work with local artists to make flyers for you, or not to even do it yourself, to not even try to do it yourself. Um, I think that that is something that could potentially be an issue. I think it says a lot about you and your value system. And, sure enough, today I saw this musician who added me recently, I believe, and I was like, it's a local musician. I'd pretty much follow every musician in Panama City in this area. I'm a musician. I don't play live music, but I've been playing instruments since I was a kid, since I was like 12. Actually younger than that. I started, in like fourth grade, fifth grade, playing trumpet, and then got into playing guitar and piano and then percussion, brass, more brass stuff. I played trumpet, trombone, baritone, euphonium, is what I did in school, but I could pretty much play any brass instrument. Um, I really do value musicians. I think they're awesome. But that being said, I think you do yourself a disservice when you decide to just commoditize all of your marketing and all of your flyer design. I think from a marketing standpoint, as somebody who is a marketer, there's such an opportunity to really be yourself, to to showcase who you are and what makes you special. um and when you just outsource your design to AI, then you get into a situation where the AI is actually what's defining you. And I like having good, nice conversations about this kind of stuff. I don't like attacking people. I don't like saying you're a horrible person if you use AI. But man, this one guy did not like it whenever I called out the AI slop. And honestly, I didn't even realize it. I call it out when I see it. I calls them likes I sees them. If I see some AI slop on my timeline, I call it out. And I usually also tell Facebook, hey, don't show me this stuff anymore. I'm not interested in this. And again, you might be saying, Dennis, you're a hypocrite. You use AI for coding and you use AI for all this stuff. And yeah, I do. I use AI to help me with the very monotonous minutia of the things that I do. I don't outsource AI and I don't outsource all of my thinking to AI and say, "Hey, figure this out for me, make something nice." I uh I say I say what I want to say. Oh, I'm getting a phone call right now. Let me see who this is. Hello. That was Karen. Um, such a weird tangent, but no, it's actually funny. She recently had a book made. I actually did her book. I did the copy editing and the layout design and the cover design, and also handled getting the books themselves printed. And she just called right now asking whether or not they came in. I guess my phone died before I could get them the get the picture over to her. But I mean, these came out great. I'm not gonna lie. The first hard book or hardcover book that I've ever done. Very excited by the way that this turned out. Um, and actually, it's really funny. She has a story about AI and about outsourcing work to AI, because there is value in it. There is a way to do it. I think that can save a ton of time and energy and effort. But I think that it's really important to continue to do the human things as best as possible. I think that just giving yourself the opportunity to try, and that's something that I mentioned in the last video that I made. You you don't have to try hard anymore. People talk about like, oh, like this guy. Maybe I'll show the. I don't know if I'm going to show the picture or not. The guy that crashed out on me about me giving him flack for using AI to do his design, but the bar is so low, like to make a flyer now, that it's like you don't need to have all of this stuff. And that's another thing too that I've noticed is a lot of times that people outsource the flyer stuff. It's so maximal. There's so much information, and it is actually counterintuitive. It's antithetical to the actual like foundational principles of graphic design. Like you don't need to put a lot of stuff on a flyer to make a flyer useful or valuable. um and you see that's one of the issues with chat gpt flyers and stuff right now, is like it's just overloading everything. It's texture, it's color, it's all of this crap, all of this extra words, and all of this filler that doesn't need to be there. At the end of the day, a good flyer should have minimal information and should be able to easily convince whoever's on the receiving side of that, to do whatever it is to go to the thing, if that's what they're actually into, right? Like that's just basic marketing stuff. So I think that's one of the issues that I've been seeing, is just this maximalism with it. But yeah, so homeboy, he just really crashed out. I called it like I saw it. I saw a flyer and it was slop, and I looked at it and I was like, that is slop. And sure enough, it's like, man, I didn't even realize that it was the dude. I thought it was just like another venue, and I said, oh, more AI slop or something like that. And then I realized, oh, it's that musician that recently added me, and I was like, oh well, if he gets butthurt about it, then whatever. Well, he got butthurt about it. Um, so yeah, I guess I'll show you. Let me see if I can pick it up. Here it is. Whoop. All right. So we're looking at, what's this guy's name? Dylan Tyler, right? I think is his name. Dude posted up, put this picture on here. All I see is slop. All I see is that's the same font. That's the same style that everybody has now, because ChatGPT is the one person that's doing everybody's thing. And it doesn't care, right? Like it absolutely does not care about doing differentiation in a good way. Oh, Karen, you sweetheart. I'm doing a stream right now. 1 second. All right, I gotta take a picture of this book for her. Poor lady. She's like, oh, I need to see it. But yeah, so just look at this flyer real quick, and also look at my stuff. You can see all of my things. Boom. Boom. Do. Okay. All right, sent. So the only reason I'm posting this is because homeboy called me out in the comments, and I said, well, you know what? He's obviously proud of this, so I'm gonna go ahead and show it. So I see this, I just see slop, and I say, oh my gosh, that's AI slop. Like that is so obviously AI slop, but it's whatever. It's whatever, right? If you want to own it, then own it, dude. And I'm not gonna lie, he says something that resonates with me, but then the other part of it is he just goes off the deep end and he says a couple things. So um oh my gosh. One second, guys. The sweet lady I love her so much. Okay, so yeah, more or less, it's like, listen, if you're into that, dude, then you're into that, and it's whatever. But yeah, so homeboy, I'm just gonna jump right into it. Here's the thing: looks the same as everybody else's. It's just red instead of yellow or orange. It's whatever. Obviously AI. So I said, ugh, more AI slop. And dude comes back immediately with, dude, fuck you and your opinion of my AI flyer. It honestly puts time back into me and my family, and it lets me spend more time around my daughter rather than staring at my screen. Then I'm all for it. And hey, listen, Dylan, I'm all for it too, dude. Like, I hope that you get to spend more time with your family and stuff. I think that's an awesome thing. I don't understand why you had to come at me the way that you did, but you did. And so I said, fuck it, I'm going to talk about it. But then you followed up with saying, how about this? I'll offer you a job for $20 a flyer if you can make something that even remotely looks as good. I don't want to make, first of all, I don't think that looks good. Uh, and secondly, $20 is just like, that's your thing, dude. If you want to pay $20, I guarantee you can go on Fiverr and find somebody that will make you artwork for $20 that will be a human doing it instead of an AI. And you can say that my stuff is made by an actual human and not an AI. That's what I would do if I was in your position. If I was so down bad that I couldn't pay more than $20 for a flyer when I'm promoting my music and my shows where I sell merch and where I get paid by venues, and I can't spend a little bit of money to just make a flyer to pay somebody to do it. And also, there is people that here locally will do it for $20. I'm just not that guy. I don't particularly like making flyers like that. I used to. I just don't want to. But again, there's a lot going on here. Um, it's, in fact, there's funnily enough, there's a lot going on and there's not enough going on, right? Like, where's the information on this flyer about the actual time, the location, and nowhere. It's nowhere. It just says, come get your drink on. Stronger every day. Discipline builds. No excuses, just results. Good people, good vibes. Cool stuff. Very vibey. But where's the actual information? Where's the location, the street address? Where's the time and date? And also, is there somebody else playing with you? Like, there's a lot of context that's just missing. So looks really like in your face, like, man, it's like Five Finger Death Punch, but instead of getting punched in my ears, I'm getting punched in my eyeballs. And again, if it saves you time, dude, good. And if you want to own it, then just own it. But to come at me and be like, bro, fuck you, fuck your criticism, that's fine. I'll take it, dude. I'm sorry that I pushed your buttons, but bro, if you can't handle people telling you that it's AI slop, then like maybe don't post it. I don't know. But yeah, go ahead, do your thing. And if you guys are into this, check him out. And again, I don't know who this guy is. I mean, he's probably a good musician. I imagine he is. He's maybe a nice guy too. I don't know. And again, I totally get it. I have kids. I love hanging out with them. That's why I use AI to do the stuff that I use it for. But when it comes to the human factor, I don't compromise. And I don't think we should compromise. I think, and especially if you're an artist, if you're in the music industry, if you're in the art field in any way, shape, or form, I don't think it's a good look to compromise that kind of thing. There are so many creative people out there that will work with you to do the thing that needs to get done to make your flyer to help you with your thing. Like if you're just earnest about it and you bring them on and you say, hey, this is a collaborative opportunity, this is a partnership, there's so many people out there that will work with you. And even if you don't want to do it collaboratively, even if you want it to be purely transactional and you want to commoditize it, you could still go on Fiverr and find people there that will absolutely do the work that you want them to do. So yeah, more or less, I'm not hating on the guy. I think that, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was gonna initially comment back, but I was like, if the dude's gonna go so, full send on me, I guess I'll go full send too because I like to make video content. So just talking about it, that makes me feel better. And dude, I don't want to make your flyers. But you could absolutely take that design and hand it off to somebody else on Fiverr and say, hey, can you make me something like this? But instead of it looking like AI slop, make it look human, and it can be done. And again, not judging you for wanting to, like actually want to hang out with your family and stuff. Totally fine. And don't gaslight me, be like, oh, he doesn't want me hanging out with my family, because that is absolutely not it. Um, I just think that when you outsource this kind of thing that's so crucial to your actual marketing and stuff, I think you end up pushing more people away than you bring into your circle. I was just talking to one of my clients about this earlier today, actually, Karen, because we were talking. She was talking about how, she saw the video that I made the other day and she was moved and she wanted to talk to me about some ideas that she had from the video that I made. And she said, listen, I totally get it. Like, I can't stand having AI do the art part of things. She tried that before she got with me to help her edit her book, where she had AI go through and kind of like copy edit her content for her book. And what AI ended up doing was taking everything that she put into it and changing it. It changed the tone, it changed the structure. And these are affirmations. These are individual affirmations that are very similar to poems. They're from the heart. They are things that she's taken the time and energy and effort to write down from her mind over years, and she's consolidated them into a digest. And that's what this book is. And when she tried to just outsource it straight to AI, it turned out horribly for her. And it was one of those things where, like, she probably could have published it if she didn't look at it and just said, cool, just go with that. And people probably wouldn't have noticed a thing. But what's happening with that, what the risk in that is that you're slowly letting AI whittle away your human connection. And people, again, realize this. I call it like I see it. If I see AI slop, I say, hey, that's AI slop. And that's just the way that it is. And some people don't do that though. A lot of people don't do that though. And there's the concept of like uncanny valley, where we see things that are just not human and we know that, and it rubs us the wrong way, right? Whether or not it's like like the Primus masks, that when they're dressed up as the cowboys and they're like porcelain, like reflective and really rubbery looking. Like, that's an uncanny thing for me that made me feel a weird way about it the first few times that I saw it when I was younger. I think it's cool now, but initially my brain was just like, yo, this just looks weird, right? Like, it's really expressive. These look like human faces, but they're obviously not. Just, it's a weird thing. And it's an interesting phenomenon too when you consider, like, why do we have this ability to detect uncanny things, and why is it so important to us? Like, why, where, when in our evolutionary history did we encounter something that looked like a human but wasn't a human, and was so potent that it made us actually develop an evolutionary, um you know what's the word I'm looking for, like an evolutionary trigger to make it to where we have this very visceral feeling, um even without consciously thinking about it, like just through basic interactions. So we have uncanny valley when it now comes to like robots and stuff, when we see robots that have like super realistic human features and can make facial expressions and do things that typically only humans can do, but like they're obviously not. Like that makes us feel a certain way. And a lot of times it's conscious. It's so visceral that it gets to a point where we're like, oh man, that's weird. I don't like that. I think that's happening with AI artwork now, and people don't realize it. I say it out loud when I see it, but there's a lot of people that just see this stuff and they're like, man, I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. It looks nice. It looks cool. Man, it looks badass and edgy and rough and like it's got like these cool textures, but like that's one of those things. Like one of these days I might actually sit there and like rebuild these chat GPT flyers in Photoshop the proper way and be like, look, this is what it actually takes. It's not hard. Here's the font, here's a picture, here's a texture, here's how you use blend modes, here's how you make a rectangle, here's how you get icons from the internet and save them. And the thing is, like, that's deterministic, right? Like a lot of these people that are doing, this kind of level of AI design for flyers, especially musicians and artists, I don't think they fully understand what determinism is when it comes to AI. And that's one of these risks, right? Like right now, it's really easy to just throw some pictures to Chat GPT and say, "Hey, make me a badass flyer that's like rough around the edges. It looks like it's got a chain connected to the wallet on my jeans." Like you could do that, and AI is gonna throw you some things. You're gonna be like, "This is dope." It might throw you a couple things. It might be 3 or 4 or 5 times that you use it that you're like, "Yo, this is sick. It really look good." But you know what? As the models evolve over time, it's going to be, even though they're going to get better at what they do, it's going to get harder and harder for them to still do those same things. You're going to start to realize that you can't get the AI to do the thing that you wanted it to do the last handful of times. It's just not doing it, and you don't know the words to describe to the AI what it is that it needs to do. You don't know what the concepts are. You're just vibe designing. You're just saying, "Hey, make it edgy." Like, and that's cool if that's what you want. And if you're okay with that, then be okay with that. But here's the thing. If you're gonna be pressed when somebody calls out AI slop and you're like, "This is my AI slop," and you're pressed because somebody said that, then maybe you should do some introspection, right? Like you said, homeboy over here said, "Listen, I got $20 for you if you can make some flyers look this badass." Um, I'm not going to do that, but there are people that want to. And if you give them that design and say, "Hey, can you do this for $20?" And I'll give you, I got X amount of jobs per month, that if you could do that, then I will absolutely pay you that $20. Just do that. But if you're down bad, sure, use AI, but don't be offended when people start to say, "Hey, I'm not coming to your show because it's AI slop. I see AI flyers. I don't know. I'm not going to go." And there's a huge number of people that are currently saying this. So you might not know that. You might be in an echo chamber where you think nobody says it to me. Everybody says they like it. You could be in an echo chamber, but here's the thing. The people that have that taste are also the people that are actually invested in those things. You might not get pushback from people because the people that are following you don't actually give a shit about you. So they're not going to push back, and they're not going to be like, "Oh man, why can't you use a regular, graphic designer?" They're not going to say anything because they actually don't care. The people that do care will actually say something about it. And again, if it were other industries, if it wasn't a musician doing this, then I probably wouldn't care. But I think that there's a weird type of irony that needs to be examined here, where you're an artist. Like, what happens if the venue just says, "You know what? We don't need you to play the same 15 cover songs over and over again. We actually are just going to use AI to do it because our audience can't tell the difference." Like, you're out of a gig, right? So, I don't know. That's just what I think. Let me check the comments to see if anybody said anything. For all I know, my mic isn't even working because that happens. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-dow. Shwoo. You just left another comment. "I performed a full presentation." This is what my boy Kevin says. I haven't even read the comment yet. "I just left comment on another video without realizing you were live. I just performed a full presentation that is right in line with this. When human elements of communication become scarce, that scarcity creates value, and then suddenly being human is a premium feature. Bing motherfucking bong. That's what I'm talking about. Like that 100%. The bar is in hell. It is so low right now to just be a human, right? And I'll talk about it again. This happened with video production on social media in the 2010s, coming from the early 2000s, where we had razors and we had the first generation smartphones that were able to actually post video to social media. There was a point in time where we didn't there wasn't an opportunity to make good looking video, right? Like go back to the earliest videos on YouTube that were shot with like a camcorder, and those were still some of the higher quality productions on the internet when it comes to social video at that point in time. And as time moved on, people started to realize that hey, you can make your content stand out by just having a higher production quality, by just putting more effort into making that video and doing that thing. And people will watch it because a large majority, we're talking, 90 plus percent of content on social media at that point in time was, shaky, blurry cell phone video with bad audio. Then all of a sudden, marketers and business professionals realized that they could easily get traction and do marketing easier by just doing better quality video production and producing better quality videos. Um, Audio, better camera, stable, clearer, high def. Um, so you started to see people realizing the novelty of high quality video production on social media, and that alone was something that would make somebody watch a video for longer than the normal amount of time that they would watch a shaky cell phone video, even if they weren't necessarily like into the content. The fact that it just looks nice and it's on my feed means I'm going to take a look at it. But then what happened over time, that became commoditized. People started to realize, oh, I could just go and make a nice looking video and talk about whatever I want, and people will watch it. So then people started doing that, and then marketers started doing that. And then you get into this era where you have like Ty Lopez and all these other marketers that are like, hey, we're making the nicest, you know, highest quality videos and ads, and we're serving them all over the internet. And people will watch it just for the sake of watching it. And here's a playbook on how you could do that too. And what ended up happening was the more and more that people started abusing that and to get engagement on social media by just making higher quality content, um, what started to happen was people would get turned off. And we see this, I call it the billboard effect. It's a type of cognitive bias. I know that there's another term for it, but it's the same thing as like when you're driving down the street, right? When billboards first came out, people looked at them. They were like, holy shit, I'm driving down the highway. There's a giant sign over here with words and pictures, and it's usually just trees. Now there's a giant sign right there. So they're going to look at it. It's new, it's something interesting. Other people realize, oh, well, you just throw billboards all over the place and people will look at them and it's a great way to advertise. Okay, but like fast forward 100 years and look where we are now, where we don't even pay attention to billboards anymore because they're everywhere. They're ubiquitous. Your brain sees a billboard and subconsciously it knows, hey, somebody's trying to take my attention, and that could actually be dangerous when I'm driving a car. So your brain knows it's way more important to just focus on driving than it is to look at every billboard that passes by. And furthermore, getting back to the crux of this conversation, you notice that billboards themselves also suffer from the same issue where the there's good billboards that have minimal information. The best billboards have the least amount of information. You look at it, you see a thing, it's brand awareness. It's very basic brand awareness. It's ubiquity. You want your brand to be seen by all these people. So you just put a bunch of billboards with your logo on it and a picture that relates to whatever it is, and maybe like a tagline or whatever, right? Because you realize you're not making a sale on a billboard, you're just showing up. And then the bad billboards are the ones that are treated like flyers, where it's just all of this information and the text is too small and there's too much stuff to focus on. even if I do look at it, my brain's not going to take the time and energy to actually try to figure out what's going on because I'm driving. So same thing with the video, right? We got to a point where people started to realize, okay, it's high quality video. That probably means somebody's trying to sell me something. And so they started to skip. So the efficacy of that medium started to go down because people realized that it was getting abused and it was being abused to take advantage of their attention, and it became less relevant. And at that point in time, now we're into the era of like TikTok popping off back when it was like musically. But like we get into this era right around, right before 2020, maybe like 2018, 2019, where all of a sudden cell phone video actually became popular again because the manufacturers figured out ways to make the video itself better, like higher quality video, better cameras, better audio, stabilization features built into the hardware and the software. So now people can just pick up their phone and start filming again. And we're getting back to that point now where it's becoming ubiquitous because people are starting to realize that cell phone video actually does do really well. And you don't have to limit yourself by thinking all I have is a cell phone, so I can't really do anything. Um, so now people are making cell phone video again. And so it's an up and down. So going back to what Kevin was saying, there is a commodity there. And right now when it comes to design, again, the bar is literally in hell. It is so low. People don't care. And you can look at it as a designer, as an artist, you can look and see that people really don't care if your flyer is perfect. Look at all of the garbage that is being shipped out by Slop GPT 24/7. It's most of it is garbage. You can don't get me wrong, you can absolutely use it to design mock-ups and to refine concepts, but to expressly use it so that you can just throw it some words and have it spit out a flyer that you can use as a commodity for your marketing only does a disservice in the long term to you and your brand, because it's going to push away the people whether or not they realize it, because you become so you just fade in to the noise. It's a signal to noise ratio thing. The people that have the ability to be your most fervent fans aren't going to want to be your fervent fans when they think that you're just shopping out all of your creativity to the GPT that can get it done the quickest and the fastest. I think that there needs to be a little bit of time and effort and energy put into doing your marketing as a artist and as a musician, because that's part of what makes it human and what makes it special. So yeah, I don't know, that's just where my head's at. Let me see if I got any more comments. I'm on my phone, I'm just rocking the phone out over here. Amen, bing bong, that's what I'm talking about. Hey Karen, I love you. God, she's so sweet. um Kevin, I love you, you're so awesome. Let me check on my other platforms too. Let me look on the Twitch real quick and see. Probably not. Hardly anybody talks to me on Twitch. If you're interested, I figured out. Oh, geez, I'm so sorry. I uh, I put together this really awesome live streaming setup here. I'm using. I'm multi-streaming right now, so I'm currently live on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and I could go live on LinkedIn if I want to as well. And I'm doing it locally from my actual computer setup. So I'm not using StreamYard, I'm not using Restream, I'm not paying a premium. This is completely for free. I have set up, and again, I used AI to do it, but I used it to actually help me dig through it. I love looking at code. I love working with AI to generate code and to make things work. So for me, it's something that it's a part of the process. I'm not just saying like, hey AI, make me something and let's go from there. No, I built well, there's a Rust based media server called Xu. I don't know, it's XIU, and it's a media server that is built on Rust. Initially last year when I thought about doing this, I was going to use Nginx to do it, and somebody said, hey, you should check out this media server. Uh, and try, just try it from there. So I installed it, I got it set up. Pretty much what I do is I open up OBS. I had it build a really simple Electron desktop app. So the media server, I turn it on. I It opens up a port, it listens for a feed from OBS. I go into OBS into my stream settings and set the RTMP feed to point to the media server, and it has its own little stream key. And then once it's on the media server takes the feed, duplicates it, and ships it out to each platform independently. Now, the difference between StreamYard and Restream and what I'm doing is StreamYard and Restream do use the live producer APIs for the respective platforms. And what I'm doing is literally treating each connection as its own independent RTMP feed. So um, it's a little bit different, and depending on how your hardware and network is set up, it might be something that's feasible or not feasible. But I just thought you might be interested in that because it is something that I've been working on for over a year because I got tired of paying StreamYard to, God, what was I paying them? $40 a month, $50 a month or something to multi-stream. And I was like, that's just not sustainable. I can't do that. All right. So no comments on Twitter. Let me jump on the Twitch real quick and see. I could pull it up on the computer, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to pull it up on my phone. Oh, there I am with my bald head. One of these days, I don't know. I usually wear a hat, but it's so hot. It's been so sweaty. I can't even. All right. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and oh, YouTube. Let's see what's going on over there. If anything. If anything, which big doubt, but maybe. No, just somebody liking my comment on the Sandlot video. All good. We're just chilling. But yeah, so I don't know if you're watching right now and you've got any comments, holler at me. Let me know what you think. And oh, I see you, Kevin, where you posted on the other video a few weeks back or a few hours ago from a few days ago. Ba-da-ba-boop-da. I think that's it though. I don't really have anything else to say. More or less just wanted to talk about how if you're gonna be using AI to do your bidding, um, and you're okay with that, then be okay with it. And don't get pressed if somebody calls you out for doing it. And if you are going to use it and you want to do it in a way that is useful, but also without sacrificing the human element, then just spend time learning how to do things yourself. Um, yes, you can do it, and I'm not like it's a free country, but I think that there's a brand risk associated with using unfettered AI, or using AI in an unfettered way, I should say, where you're just saying, you know what, make me another flyer, make it badass, because eventually you're gonna lose sight. You're gonna lose your individualism. And I think that if you're a musician, that's one of the things that matters the most. And just spending a couple hours learning how to actually make a flyer is like worth it. Shit. Just draw it out on a piece of paper and take a picture. Like, you don't have to do a lot. And that will resonate more in this day and age than some overproduced maximalist vibey design that looks exactly the same. Like, literally, we're at a point where I see these and I have no idea who the person is behind them. Like, I actually have to dig around and look and say, like, who is this? What is this about? So I don't know. I think there's obviously a risk there. If you're okay with that risk, then don't be upset when people call you out about it. And yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it. So with that said, I bid you adieu.